Hey Treyson, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk about your motion and delivery, break it down frame by frame, and sort of go from there. You do a lot of good things with your lower half, getting extension, getting down the mound. Now it's just, we can make a few sort of initial tweaks from your setup, and then we'll kind of go through frame by frame and look at a few spots and kind of go from there. All right, so your initial setup, basically where we want to get to is we want to get to a little bit more active, a little bit more balanced position. All right, right now you kind of 50-50 in the middle of your weight, 50 on the left foot, 50 on the right. But what you see is once you start your motion, as we start clicking forward here a little bit, you can see that move back. All right. So that move back is not only inefficient, but it takes a lot longer, especially when guys are on base going for the stretch. All right. And then you can also see how this ball starts to pop out early, which as you get older and hitters get a little bit better, they're going to be able to tell what pitch is coming. All right. So your initial setup, all we got to do is we got to get back to this position first, out here. So your weight's over that back foot. It's about 80% back foot, 20% front foot. All right, so it's just a little shift of your hip, shift of your weight to that front or to that back side from that front side. All right. Another thing too with your hands. All right. Try to get your hands a little bit lower, right around here. So as you get going, those hands aren't going to want to break so early. All right, you can see that those hands come out and you get going, so your timing's just a little bit off. All right, so what we want to have happen is we want to have, first off, let your hips get closed a little bit more. Even from the stretch, we're trying to be quick. At least try to get somewhere where that knee's over that back foot. All right, because our hips are the driving engine behind our mechanics and our velocity, and we want to try to get them closed, and we want to have them lead down the mound. All right, so get this, initially you can see that leg never really gets back too much. It's sort of the slide step, but we really don't need to be that quick, especially at this age. Runners just aren't that good. It's better for us to get a little bit more consistency and a little bit more power in our lower half than worry about being too quick. All right, so basically right when your leg hits its highest point, let's just say you're able to get back here a little bit, that's your highest point, your hands should still be together, your ball should still be in the glove, there shouldn't be any movement with that upper body. All right, so then as you start, once that leg starts going, now those hands break, so you can see that ball wants to come down. That ball wants to come down here, so and if you can get your hands right down here, it's going to cut off that distance. All right, so it's kind of starting from up here, going down. Oops, I had the wrong thing on. Down here. All right, you're going to start them from here, so this is going to be a lot easier. It's a lot easier to recreate this arm path than to start it from up here and do that. And then what you see is because you do start them so early that your glove kind of goes straight up right there and then pulls. All right, so if you get your hands down a little bit lower down here, all right, not only you're hiding the ball better, but now that arms and that glove's going to have to follow this path. It's okay to get that high, but it's going to take more time and not be so early for it to fly open. So you can see it gets up, gets early, and just yanks. All right, so the more time, maybe, probably about right here, your glove might be here, and then right here, now it's sort of getting up there. So it'll just cause that glove to time up a little bit better with your body. All right, so then at your foot strike, as you're coming through your foot strike, all right, you can see how you've landed basically already out over that front foot. All right, you're getting pretty decent little torque going where your hips are starting to turn before your shoulder, but you can see how everything's starting to lean. If we're looking at you from the hitter, everything's leaning over to that first base side quite a bit, and that's basically that pull from that left side I was talking to you about. All right, you can see how you're getting up here, and that arm's starting to sort of come together back here, and this is kind of staying out. So they're kind of creating some different angles. So at that foot strike, we'd want them to be a little bit, some better angles on it. So right here, that glove's out here, and then that back arm's, going to be back here a little bit more. So you're just kind of short arming the ball, kind of pushing a little bit, but basically it's just from pulling that left side. And so then through your release point, instead of having this right here, head kind of behind your foot, you're going to drive that back foot, still going to be on the ground. You're thinking if you're going to punch somebody, boxers, do boxers get their most powerful punch from one foot on the ground or with two? And it's two because you can drive through everything. You can use those legs and get out front a little bit more. So now you're going to pick up more angle. It's going to get closer to the hitter, and it's just in a lot better position to really maximize that lower half as you get older. But I mean, you're getting great tempo down the mound. You're getting good extension. You got a good feel for, as you get older, get that strength to stay back a little bit more. It's going to be pretty good for you. So it's just a matter of those initial setup tweaks. Make sure you work on your hands. Get your hands down lower so they're not breaking early and showing off your pitch. And then, that's going to keep your glove from getting up too high too quick, and that'll time everything up, make it work a little bit more efficiently, and you'll go from there. So anyways, but overall pretty good for your age. Good luck this season. Hopefully you have a great year, and thanks again for making it out to camp. Hopefully we'll see you again with ABC.